Hey, what's up? Welcome back to another edition of the Mandatory Live. If you're rocking with the show, thank you so much. But if you haven't already subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, like the video. And remember, you can also follow us on our social media channels. We're at the Mandatory TKO. And you can find us on the audio side as well. So keep that in mind. So if you're on, looking for your podcast, your shows, leave a rate and review because why wouldn't you give us a 5-star?
Do we think Vergil Ortiz should have taken the Xander Zayas fight?
I here's the thing. I don't think that fight is dead either.
I don't either. I want to see that fight more than the Madrimov fight, but if I'm Vergil Ortiz, why am I fighting a prospect? He's a contender now, but you get what I'm saying. Like, why am I fighting an up and comer?
Well, here's the thing. If I'm Vergil Ortiz and I have a chance to fight Madrimov, who just fought Bud, or fight Xander Zayas, who could potentially give him problems in the ring and beat him in that fight.
Correct.
I think I would lean towards Xander winning by decision, but my heart would be with Vergil to win that fight. Like, I'm just going to keep it real. Like, the style of fighting, you guys know, if you watch the show, I love Mexican boxers. So I would want Vergil to win, but I think Zayas would win on points on the scorecards. Now, here's the thing. If I'm Vergil, why would I take that risk? Instead, I'm going to follow this path to fight Bud and get a big-ass payday.
Right.
And fight in the biggest fight of my career. Like, that's not a small fight. That would be one of the biggest fights of the year if Bud and Vergil Ortiz was to happen. That's massive, Bryan.
Mm-hmm. And
So
I didn't expect Xander was going to get that fight. He also Vergil Ortiz Sr., Vergil's pops, tweeted at Xander, "Xander, you seem like a good act. You seem like a good don't act." What? That's written improperly, so that's why it threw me off. But whatever. You seem like a good guy. I will put in the word for him. I think that's what he's going for. Don't act like some of these people on here. The truth is, they called and asked if Junior, Vergil Ortiz Jr., would fight you. It was an easy yes. They called 4 other guys. You were the least accomplished, so by their standards, you were not qualified as top rank. Good luck, champ. Xander Zayas replies, I respect the business decision. It's understandable, and I'm sure the fight will take place in the future. Good luck in February. Like, clap it up for both sides there, honestly. Like, I like that. I enjoy that. Like, Al Pau says Xander never fought nobody. And I mean, comparatively, he hasn't. But again, he's more of an up-and-comer. I think he's going to get that chance.
eventually, yes, for sure.
But I wouldn't say he should get it, like, right now. I think he's ready for it, but I think that's skipping a step to go straight to Vergil Ortiz right now,
Yeah. And I also think that there's other fights on the table potentially for Xander Zayas and also for Vergil Ortiz. So, like, if he doesn't even get the boots fight, because there also, guys, there's rumors that are heavily coming on about Bud and Canelo. Like, I don't know if you've seen it,
Okay, yeah,
but there's it's not been officially announced, but it's like reports that this is actually in the talks and that they're trying to make it happen. Now, I don't know how true that is because in boxing we hear that all the time. But like, I feel like that would be a historic fight for Bud and he could just retire if he did that. So say if Vergil Ortiz fights Madrimov and then after he doesn't get Bud, like, there's other names at 154 pounds that he could fight.
Boots versus Xander Zayas.
Yes,
I don't think that's gonna happen. But goddamn, you wanna put some shit in Madison Square Garden? I mean, maybe
if Boots wasn't fighting Vergil, there's no way he's fighting Xander Zayas. There's no way, because I feel like Xander Zayas is much. I feel like a lot of people are hard on Xander Zayas, to be honest with you. Like, he has great performances and people aren't satisfied.
And no, Boots should not fight him next, and he shouldn't fight Boots next.
No, I know. I think Xander has the potential to beat anybody though. Like, that's how good I think he is.
I agree.
I the only thing is that I think people are way too hard on him. It's like he's not gonna knock out everybody. Like, I hate that narrative of how they want these young prospects or up and cutting fighters to just knock out everybody. Like, not everybody has that style of fighting.
It's something that's also very specific to, like, there's this assumption that every Puerto Rican prospect has to be a knockout artist. Redacted was getting this when he was in his, when he was coming up before he went to jail for certain things. But if y'all know who I'm talking about. But redacted, when he was coming up, he also had some performances that were underwhelming or whatever the case may be. Xander, I don't think he's had a string of underwhelming performances. I think he just like has beaten a few guys or a couple guys by decision that people wanted to see knockouts, but he's not Miguel Cotto or Felix Trinidad stylistically. And he's a really good all-around fighter. Like he's not someone who has like amazing finishing ability, but he's good at everything. Like he has defense. He has more defense than your typical Puerto Rican boxing prospect.
I also think he's a guy that could break you down round by round because you could get agitated by what he's doing in the ring because he does have actually a pretty good IQ. Let's go to Al the Pal really quick because I feel like he had a pretty good comment here that we're going to read out. I think Xander has a better chance with boots than Vergil.
I don't know.
I think it's a tough fight either way. I wouldn't cut out boots in that fight, but it's a tough fight for him. And I've just seen him against Karatukazan for the last 2 times. So it's like, I don't know where he's at really. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things. Let's go back to our guy, Steven. Bud will get hurt bad versus Canelo. He has a mean streak and will fight, which will play into Canelo's hands. Is Jesus still on the chat? Because Steven, Jesus might be coming for you after that because he does not like Canelo.
Try to start fights.
Listen, if I know Jesus, he has something in the clip there. But
to put a bow on the Xander Zayas thing, just real quick, because I think this is relevant to the conversation. He is ranked number 1 by the WBO. Shot at the top rank, but he is ranked number 1 by the WBO at 154. So he technically is the mandatory for Sebastian Fundora. Terrence Crawford has the interim. Terrence Crawford ain't fighting Xander Zayas. So Sebastian Fundora versus Xander Zayas, I feel like is possible for 2025. We'll see. And then he also is ranked number 4 by the WBC. I was telling you before when we talked about what's Xander Zayas' next move. I still think Top Rank is going to give us him versus Vito Mielnicki Jr. at some point. Like maybe you do that and then he fights Sebastian Fundora, which I think like that's a realistic path. And I think he beats Vito Mielnicki Jr., who was not very impressive in his last fight. So,
yeah, and they'll probably have that fight in New York. You would think that they would. Any final thoughts, guys? Drop them in the comments. We do read all your comments. We might not always respond, but we do appreciate you guys.